All right, Shalom. First and foremost, before I get started, I'd like to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh Bahashem Yahushai Bahashem Ruach Kodash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone who taught me this truth and rule well. Peace and blessings unto the hopeful elect, pushing His word throughout the four corners of the earth in truth, righteousness, and sincerity. To you, I say Shalom. This is the brother Yeshaya coming at you again through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bahashem Yahushai. Back with another lesson. This one is going to be entitled "The Bigger They Are, the Harder They Fall." Okay, and that's mainly talking about, at least in this video, pretty much just talking about pride, man. Right? But pretty much going to be going in on Esau's bitch ass. You know, because we're coming to a point where this man sees his fall. This man sees that Yahweh Shah is on his way back. He sees, Jake waking up, which is the ultimate sign of his downfall, right? The fact that the Israelites are back in their right state of mind, or coming back to their right state of mind, that's terrifying unto him, right? That's spoken about in the book of well, what is it? Revelation, the 11th chapter. Let me see. Bear with me. Yeah, right here. Revelation 11 and 11. It says, "And after 3 days and a half, the Spirit of life of the Most High entered into them," right? Entered into us, and they stood upon their feet, and great fear fell upon them which saw them, right? Talking about primarily Esau, Edom, but also the rest of the heathen, right? They were in terror, or they are in terror, because ultimately that marks the end, or the start of their fall, the start of their of the of I guess you could say the crumbling of their kingdom, right? But it says, let me read this in Jeremiah 50. It says, this is Jeremiah 50 and 31. It says, "Behold, I am against thee, O thou most proud." You see, and that's Esau. The Most High saying he's against him. It says, "Thus saith the Lord power of hosts, for that day is come, the time that I will visit thee." You see, and that's really what Esau is preparing for right now. Right? That's the reason why he's building up his space force. He's talking about, a alien threat. He's pretty much getting everything ready for the ultimate battle against Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, against Yahweh Shai and his host of angels, right? But he understands that, well, really, like they say in the world, you corner a dog into a corner, he's gonna bite, you know. And that's exactly what the Most High has done. The Most High is putting this man to a corner, and now this man is lashing out. That's what it says in Revelation 12 and 12. That, as a matter of fact, let me just get that. Revelation 12. Oh, Salakia. Revelation 12 and verse 12. It says, "Therefore rejoice ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea, for the devil is come down unto you, having great wrath, because he knoweth that he hath but a short time," right? Because he knows that his time is up. Again, the Most High is putting this man to a corner. The walls are closing in on him. So he has no choice but to lash out, use everything he's got to try to maintain his position of power, right? But going back to Jeremiah 50 and 31, it says, "Behold, I am against thee, O thou most proud, saith the Lord power of hosts, for that day is come, the time that I will visit thee." Right? And it says almost proud because uh, uh, this man's pride has gone, over his head, right? Um, Scriptures talk about in Proverbs 16 and verse 18. Let me get that. It says, "Pride goeth before destruction, and a haughty spirit before a fall." You see? There's another precept. How's it go? Uh, in Obadiah, I believe. Obadiah 1 and 3, I think. Let me see. Obadiah, yeah, 1 and 3, it says, the pride of thine heart has deceived thee, thou that dwellest in the clefts of the rock, right? Because this is clefts of the rock because this man is known to be living in caves, but the pride of his heart has deceived thee. You know, here it is. This man has been in power, in position of power for a long ass time. He's been uh, 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 gone unchecked, so to speak, for all this time that he feels like he's unstoppable, he's untouchable, to the point where when you're reading Second Thessalonians, you know, he feels like he is the Most High, right? He's got this God complex, just as you know the Most High hardened Pharaoh's heart. Hey, the Most High has hardened this man's heart. He's puffing up his pride too, right? Which is why I entitled this, you know, the bigger they are, the harder they fall. You see, 'cause this man's gonna come crashing super hard, man. The form and the fashion that Esau's kingdom is gonna come crashing down is gonna be, you know, unlike any other kingdom that we've ever seen or heard about. You know, this the remembrance of this place is gonna be uh it's pretty much gonna be remembered throughout for eternity, man. It's gonna be remembered about this place going down, right? But let me finish this out, and I'm gonna get that too because you know that's something that just like the first Exodus, how it's been talked about, is still talked about to this day. Well, we're going to be remembering the second Exodus, the exiting out of this place and the destruction of America. We're going to be remembering that forever once we're in the kingdom, right? To glorify our Lord Yahweh B'Hashem Yahweh Shai. But it says Obadiah 1 and verse 3. It says, the pride in thy heart hath deceived thee, thou that dwellest in the clefts of the rock, whose habitation is high, that saith in his heart, who shall bring me down to the ground? Right. So this man feels like no one can take him down. That's in his mind. That's in his heart. He's top dog, right? That he's gonna make America great again. That he can do all these things and be untouched, right? But let me get that what I mentioned. Let me see. It shall no more be said. Here, right here. So Jeremiah 16 and verse 14. It says, therefore, behold, the days come, saith the Lord Yahweh, that it shall no more be said, the Lord liveth, that brought up the children of Israel out of the land of Egypt, but the Lord liveth, that brought up the children of Israel from the land of the north, and from all the lands whither he had driven them, and I will bring them again into their land, and I will give, Salakia, and I will bring them again into their land that I gave unto their fathers. You see, so like I said, you know, the form and fashion that the most, like, you remember when you read about Exodus in Exodus, how the Most High took down Pharaoh and the Egyptians, right, with all the plagues and you know splitting the Red Sea, you know what I'm saying, the cloud, the pillar of day, and a cloud of the day, and a pillar of light in the night. So you remember all these, and these are like great miraculous works that the Most High did. Well, when we talk when the kingdom, when we start talking about the exiting out of America and the destruction of this place, hey, like, man, it's gonna be talked about. You know what I'm saying? The form and fashion that the Most High is gonna take us out of this place is gonna surpass the what we read about in Exodus, right? So this man, the way this man is gonna go down is gonna be um is gonna be through great uh destruction, right? This man's gonna fall hard. Seeing that this man has gone so long unchecked and has the world in his hands, right? Spoken about in the book of Job, how the Most High gave the world into his hands for so long. This man has been a threat to the world to the point where no one can challenge him, right? The scriptures talk about it in let me see. Let me see if I can find it. Who shall make war? Oh, I forgot to spell shall. Bear with me. Right here, Revelation 13:4, it says, "And they worshiped the dragon, which gave power unto the beast, and they worshiped the beast, saying, Who is like unto the beast? Who is able to make war with him?" Right? Because America is that military might. America got the best military, the best weaponry, right? A nuclear arsenal. You see. So for a long time, these Edomites have been top dog. So of course it's gonna feel like, who's gonna bring me down to the ground? You see, all the heathen were like, we're scared of this man. Who's able to make war with this guy? You see, which is why Lord Yahushua has to come down, because we can't take him down on our own. We don't got the weaponry, we don't got the finance, we don't got the backing or nothing to try to take this man down. This is why the scriptures talk about wait ye upon me. As a matter of fact, let me get that. That's in Zephaniah. What is it? Third chapter. The 8th verse, it says, "Therefore wait ye upon me, saith the Lord Yahweh, until the day that I rise up to the prey. For my determination is to gather the nations, that I may assemble the kingdoms to pour upon them mine indignation, even all my fierce anger, for all the earth shall be devoured with the fire of my jealousy." Right? So the Most High is going to take all these birds with one stone. Right? He's going to gather them up in the valley of Yehoshaphat and just going to, incinerate them all. This is why, this is important to keep watch, because whenever you see what's going on as far as global politics and as far as the tensions that's going around the world, you start to see that this might happen soon, man, or this will happen soon. The tensions between these different countries, the sanctions, and all this is going on. Really right now, what's going on is economic warfare. But soon it's going to build up into a physical war. All right, which is going to lead to World War III, which is going to bring in pretty much the inevitable fall of America, but also going to usher in the return of our Lord Yahushua. And like it says, he's going to pretty much pour upon them he's going to pour upon those armies his indignation. Right? It says the earth shall be devoured with the fire of my jealousy. It's going to be by the laser beams, but also through them ICBM missiles. Right? That destruction, it's talked about in Revelation as the second death. Because the first death, or the first way this world was pretty much all the inhabitants of the land was taken out was by water, but this time it's going to be by fire. Right? And what are the odds that Esau is going to be in power when this happens? You're showing you how fast and drastic this man's kingdom is going to go down. Right? It says it in the book of Luke. Let me get that. I beheld Satan as lightning fall from heaven. Let me get that. Luke 10 verse 18. It says, "And he said unto them, I beheld Satan as lightning fall from heaven." Why is that? Because here it is. He's in his heavenly estate right now. He's up here in power. But soon as lightning, it's just a lightning, crashes. That's how fast this man's gonna go down from the position of power. Scriptures talk about in 1 hour. As a matter of fact, let me see if I can find that one. In 1 hour, so much riches has come to naught. Right here, Revelation 18 and 17. It says, "For in 1 hour, so great riches is come to naught, and every shipmaster and all the company and ships and sailors and as many as trade by sea stood afar off." Right. So in 1 hour, when you read it in the NLT, it says, "In a single moment, all the wealth of the city is gone." In a single moment, right? In 1 hour, Esau's empire is going to be stripped from his hands. He's going to go back to being just an ordinary man. The Most High is going to show him that he's nothing but an ordinary man, right? He's nothing to be feared. Now, let me get this, because this man, he's going to come, like we read about in Revelation 12. He's going to come with that wrath. He's going to try to implement, his new world order. But at the end of the day, he ain't going to be able to fully enjoy and sit down and look back, or reflect back on his works. This is Job 20 in verse 19. It says, "Because he hath oppressed and hath forsaken the poor, because he hath violently taken away an house which he builded not." Right? Isn't that what he done? Everything that Esau has gotten, he's stolen. But it says, verse 20, "Surely he shall not feel quietness in his belly. He shall not save that which he desired, which save of that which he desired." Right? You're not going to be able to, like I said, enjoy what you have set up, what you have built. It says, "There shall none of his meat be left, therefore shall no man look for his goods." Right? Because it's all going to be destroyed. Everything that this man has built up here in America is going to be wiped out. His system, the way he has manipulated the minds of the people, the culture, everything. Scriptures talk about in, I believe it's 2 Peter, how the elements shall melt with fervent heat. As a matter of fact, let me see if I can get that. I'll come back to this. There was a point I wanted to make in that. 2 Peter 3. Yeah, right here. 2 Peter 3 and 10 says, "But the day of the Lord will come as a thief in the night," meaning unexpectedly. It says, "In the which the heavens shall pass away with a great noise, and the elements shall melt with fervent heat," talking about them ICBM missiles, "and the earth also, and the works that are therein shall be burned up." Right? So all your works is going to be dissolved, Esau. There's going to be no remembrance of your great works. Now, we will remember us exiting out of this place, right? As we just read about in, I believe it was Jeremiah. But you being in power and you remembering all the great feats that you did and all the science and, all the wickedness that you committed, all that shit is going to be forgotten. You're going to go back. You're going to go back to being just an ordinary, plain old man. You're going to be in the field. You're going to be the basest men again. Here it is. You're going to go from being at the top to being at the very, very bottom. But let me get this. Let me go back to this. Job 20 and verse 22. It says, "In the fullness of his sufficiency, he shall be in straits." Right. So right when you're about to reach your fullness, that's when you're gonna come across problems. The main problem is gonna be Lord Yahushua coming back. You're gonna have to deal with that. But it says, "Every hand of the wicked shall come upon him." Right. Pretty much all the hands of the workers, the working class, which is primarily Jake. So pretty much, you're gonna have rebellions. You're gonna have insurrections. You're gonna have uproars of the people. Right? You're gonna lose control trying to implement this new world order. But it says, verse 23, "When he is about to fill his belly, the Most High shall cast the fury of his wrath upon him, and shall rain it upon him while he is eating." It says, he shall flee. And I'm laughing because you can just picture somebody sitting down eating a banquet, eating all this food, and he's about to be satisfied. Here someone comes and kicks you in the back of the in the back of the chest, or kicks you in the back, and you spit all that shit out. This is exactly what's going to happen to Esau. But it says, verse 24, he shall flee from the iron weapon, and the bow of steel shall strike him through. It is drawn and cometh out the body, yea, the glittering sword cometh out of his gall. Terrors are upon him. See? So them ICBM missiles is going to strike him through. It's going to completely eliminate the system he has set up. The Edomite hegemony is going to be no more. Right? Now let me get this in Malachi. Malachi 1 and verse 4. It says, whereas Edom saith, we are impoverished, but we will return to build the desolate places. Thus saith the Lord of hosts, they shall build, but I will throw down, and they shall call them the border of wickedness, and the people against whom the Lord hath indignation forever. Right? So everything that you have built up, was all meant to be thrown down. You see, you build up this great sand castle, and that's what it's made out of. It's made out of sand. So you built this great sandcastle, and now Yahushua is going to be, that bully that comes down and starts kicking your shit. Starts kicking your whole sandcastle, knocking it down. Right? Well, let me see. Let me get one more, and I'll close it off with this. Romans 9. Because this is all ultimately, the reason why you got built up to this level, Esau, is ultimately to glorify the Lord, because your fall is going to be an example of the Lord's power, but also an example of how the Most High is in control. This is Romans 9 verse 17. It says, for the scripture saith unto Pharaoh, even for the same purpose have I raised thee up, that I might show my power in thee, and that my name might be declared throughout all the earth. And best believe, once the Most High takes down America, it's going to spread. That news is going to spread worldwide, because everybody's going to be viewing this. As far as the destruction of America, everybody's going to be viewing it through the televisions, satellite imagery, right? It's going to be televised, so the whole world's going to know, and it's going to remember who is the one that did this and what happened. You see? But again, that fall, man, that you're gonna receive is gonna be hard, man. You're gonna come crashing down, as we read in Luke 10 and 18. As lightning, you're gonna come crashing down as lightning. You see? So with that, I'm gonna go ahead and close it out. I pray this lesson was edifying. I'm gonna finish off by saying, Kal Halayim La, Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai Bahashim Rachach Kwadash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone who taught me this truth and rule well. Peace and blessings unto the hopeful elect, pushing his word throughout the four corners of the earth in truth, righteousness, and sincerity. Until the next time, I'm going to say, Shalom. Kwam Yasha Allah.